our health is important, and no one will come to tell you, okay, you need to take care of yourself. That's a decision that we have to make ourselves. So make the right decision. I hope that this episode will really help you in that sense. And fasting is not just to lose weight, like we said. You can get so many health benefits. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Self Upgrade. Today, we are going to talk about something which is important, something which is exciting to both of us, but also, I hope, to you as well. We are going to talk about fasting. Well, fasting is something that we both have been doing for a little while. I've been, fasting ever since I think it was back in 2020 when I discovered that you could actually lose weight by fasting, but I will share my experience in a few minutes. So Ben is with us today. Hi, Ben.
Hi.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm great, thank you, and thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. So Ben is going to share his experience as well, and we're going to tell you a little bit about, the protocol of fasting based on research. And we will also talk about the benefits of fasting. So stay with us until the end and you will love this. Okay, so first of all, what is intermittent fasting? Because there are different types of fasts. And today we are going to talk about water fast, also called intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, the meaning of it means that, you're going to eat for a certain time during the day. Let's say you're going to eat for 4 hours during the day or 8 hours. And then the rest of the time, you're just going to drink water, liquids that are going to keep you in a fasted state, which means that you can't, add any like sugar or any sweeteners. You're going to just drink, for instance, if it's tea, you're going to drink it like if it's black tea, you don't add any milk in there. You just drink it like that. If it's, herbal tea is fine, but don't add any honey or anything like that. Or if you add any of that, it's going to take you out of the fasted state. Recently, quite a lot of studies have been done around this topic. And research shows that actually there are so many benefits to fasting because fasting has been seen as something spiritual, to get close to the divine. Until recently, that's how it was perceived. But now we know that actually there are a lot of health benefits that can be linked to fasting. And we will talk about those shortly. Before I tell you about my experience with fasting, Ben, can you share yours, please?
Of course I can.
Yes.
I've started it because I was trying to lose weight. And I came across the book of How to Eat to Live.
Mm-hmm.
And in the book, it tells you that the people of the Nation of Islam are people who do intermittent fasting on a daily basis. So they only eat 1 meal a day.
Oh, wow.
And from that, I tried it. At the beginning, it was a bit difficult. It's just like anything. But after that, your body just get used to it. So you don't find it as hard anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it helped me lose weight. So it's all about avoiding calorie. So just as you said, like any kind of sugar or anything else with like fat. And what people have actually discovered when you talk about like difficulty and things like that, is when you start, because you used to eat 3 meals a day and snack in between, your body is not used to it. So you're going to start feeling your stomach like rumbling. You might feel like tired, or some people get anxious.
Oh.
But as your body get used to it after like, I would say like a few days, for me, it took like 3 days. After the first 3 days, you don't feel that tired. And, even your stomach, you just start like ignoring it. You have a lot more energy. You lose weight, obviously.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting. It actually did help me.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it's really, what you said there, it's reminded me of when I started, because like I said, I started to do intermittent fasting back in 2020. And when I started, it was very, very difficult. It was difficult for me because, I used to snack quite a lot in between meals. Okay. I used to snack quite a lot. So the fact of stopping, to reducing the amount of food I was consuming and then to stop the snacks as well, it was very difficult. So you said that for you, it took you about 3 days to get used to it. I think for me, it was longer, probably about a week. Because, like my body took a lot of time to adjust to the changes. But once after that period of time, my body, like, the vitality that I was feeling was just incredible. Like, sometimes after eating, I will feel tired and almost sleepy. If you had like a big meal and then I will start feeling a bit tired, a bit sleepy, like I have to sit for a few minutes to just, start the digestion. I mean, that's how I was feeling before fasting. But now, with fasting, I can have like a big meal. Okay. Like, I fast, and then after the fast, obviously, we will talk about that because after your fast, you don't want to rush into like sweet stuff or, like a big meal straight away. You want to go gradually into having, that big meal. So you can start, for instance, with a cup of tea, and then have some fruits, or you can start with some soup, something really light, which is not going to make your stomach work too hard. And then you're working your way up to your main meal, basically. That's how I do it. And that's how the research, suggests that we do it as well, because I do quite a lot of research around intermittent fasting as well. So that's something that I will suggest that you look into. And before we move on, I just want to remind you that we are not professional. We're not health professionals. So these are just, we are sharing our experience as people. Like I was saying, this is something that we are used to doing. We do quite a lot. And, but we don't have, like, we're not health professionals. If you decide to do intermittent fasting, make sure to go and see your doctor, to get checked up, to make sure that you can do it safely. And to come back to what I was saying, so, for me, it was a bit difficult due to the fact that I was snacking. But when I got used to it, the vitality I was feeling was just incredible. I didn't have those drops of energy after meals. On the contrary, after my meals, I feel very, energetic. I feel like I can do lots of things, so that's one of the advantages that I find with fasting. And also, I used to have quite a lot of digestive problems. Like after my meals, I would start to have some cramps and, just feel uneasy, really. And now I don't experience that anymore. So that's, for me, it was like a miracle, because all my life, it was like that. After my meals, especially my first meal, like lunch, I will start to feel, quite, some cramps. So they were not pains, but just I was feeling uncomfortable. And then when I started fasting, all of that is now gone. So that was like a miracle to me. And now we're going to talk about the protocol of fasting, because I'm sure that you are asking yourself, okay, so you are fasting, but how long do you fast? And, how should I do that? So regarding the protocol, I mean, it's really depend on you and your objectives as well, what you want to achieve, whether it's weight loss or you just want to feel more healthy. Because, like I said, we're going to talk about the health benefits of fasting. But regarding the protocol, there are different things that you can do. For instance, before starting to fast, it's very important to reduce your glucose intake for about like a week. You reduce the amount of sugar that, you are consuming. And that is going to help you to be, more resistant when you're going to start fasting. And there's also the fact that, you have to choose your window during which you're going to eat. So you can, for instance, decide to eat for 4 hours and then fast for the rest of the 20 hours during the day. But, that's not something that I suggest if you are starting. If this is your first time, just start gradually. You can, for instance, you can start with 8 hours of eating time, and then work your way up. But don't go cold turkey and try to go for a whole day without eating, or to start with one meal a day. Just, go gradually and see how your body is responding to the fasted state. And then you can work your way up. For instance, even now, I have a baby who is now 4 months, and I'm trying to get back to fasting, to eat just one meal a day. And it's not something, even if I was used to do that before, I'm doing it, I'm getting there gradually, because you can't, stress the body too much by you are used to eating, let's just say 3 meals a day, and all of a sudden you decide to go for just one meal.
Just rushing into it.
Yeah, that's going to be too stressful, and it's not, maybe you won't be able to continue with that, in that rhythm. So go gradually. And, so regarding the protocol, once you have decided your eating window, you're going to try and stick with that, because according to research, if you don't stick, with your eating window, if, for instance, let's say your eating window today is from, let's say, 10 to 3 o'clock, and then tomorrow you decide to eat at 2 o'clock, between 2 and 6, that's quite disturbing to the body, because, it doesn't know, the body loves routines. So if you keep changing like that, it's, it's just going to disturb the body, and there are quite some, health issues that can come up of that. So try to stick with your window. And then when you wake up in the morning, according to studies, don't rush into eating. Like, you woke up and you're going to have a latte with some sugar straight away. Don't do that. They say that it's really beneficial when you actually abstain from eating after waking up. If you can abstain from eating for like 1 to 2 hours, that will work even better, especially for those who want to lose weight. And then you shouldn't eat, 2 to 3 hours before going to bed, just to make sure that, your body has time to digest all the food before you go to bed, because by doing that, you're going to really have the benefits of fasting. Yes. So, talking about that now, Ben, let's talk about the benefits.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about the benefits that you know or you experienced when fasting?
Okay, so when you fast, the benefit, so there is weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing you're gonna see.
Yeah.
You calorie reduction.
Mm-hmm.
You're reducing the risk of heart disease, diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some study, but it's not 100%. That say that it does reduce the risk of Alzheimer.
Oh, Alzheimer's disease.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And that's because of the sugar.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, now that you are saying that, so I lost my dad last year in November to Alzheimer's. And I remember that my dad was quite, he consumed a lot of sugar. Like, for instance, I remember during Ramadan, because I'm from a Muslim background. So during Ramadan, we will have like, a big, some tea, and we will put it in a container and then share it, And I remember for my dad, like we will have his own,
Separate.
Ours
had his.
Yeah. So basically he will have his own thing, because no one could drink the same, his tea, due to the amount of sugar that he will put in there.
It wasn't a tea, it was a syrup.
Yeah, he was turning it into a syrup. And, my dad was someone who was very active, like, really dynamic. So during his youth, he didn't really feel it.
No.
He didn't really feel it because, he was very dynamic, very sportive, even I will say. Yeah, and very healthy and fit. So he was not really feeling it, but, he continued with the same rhythm, like, consuming quite a lot of sugar all his life. And when he got old, so that's really, so now that you're saying that there may be some truth to it, because I know that, growing up, I saw him from very young age. I saw him consuming lots of sugar, and that's continued until the end, basically.
And there's something else. It's like us as people, like we are made to think that we need to eat like 3 meals a day. But what we need to remember is that's mostly due to the food industry. They're just like advertising, they're just marketing to actually sell the product. But if you think about the fact that our ancestors before, they had to go and hunt to actually get their food and to actually eat, they'll probably like have 1 meal a day. They didn't have breakfast, lunch and dinner. They didn't have no shop, no restaurant around to actually go to buy some food or just order it.
Yeah.
And that's something like us as people today, we just take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I mean, food is everywhere and it's very cheap as well. I mean, cheap, it's getting expensive, but I mean, food is everywhere. So, we just feel like, okay, because it's there are some snacks. So, we feel like, okay, let me eat, but we don't have to do that. And, just to come back to the protocol a little bit, it's important to look at your, your own habits. If you wanted, you want to stick to this, if you don't see this just like something that you're going to do for a month or two to lose a few kilos or pounds, it's very important to look at you, to analyze, your own habits. Like every day, can you go without having your breakfast, for instance? Can you go without having your breakfast? Or, do you have to eat dinner? Because for me, that's how I decided my window. Okay. Like, I'm someone who, I'm a mom of 4 in the morning. My mornings are very busy. So, breakfast is not really something that, and even before, giving birth, I never was a breakfast person. Like my breakfast has always been coffee. It was coffee because now I'm trying to reduce my, coffee intake. But I will have like a cup of tea or some coffee and that was it. So it didn't change anything to my, to when I'm now that I'm fasting. For me, breakfast is not even a thing because I'm still having my cup of tea, or if I want, I'm still having my black coffee. Because like I said, you can drink your coffee, but don't add anything in there. And regarding coffee, I just wanted to mention that I drink, the bulletproof coffee, which I will share the link with you guys, because I find it very, very good, especially if you want to fast for a long period of time. If, for instance, it's more than 24 hours, or even if it's within the 24-hour window, but, taking the bulletproof coffee really helps you to feel more energetic and to not feel the hunger due to the ingredients that were used in there. So I will share the link in, if you are planning to have like a 2-day or 3 days fast, you can also do that. So then we talked about the benefits of fasting, and I just wanted to add here, because I think you mentioned diabetes.
Yes.
Diabetes. So basically, when you're fasting, because as soon as we eat something, according to research, we have like the glucose level that's spikes, that goes up straight away. And after a few hours, if you stop eating, if you're just drinking water or just consuming like tea without sugar, after a few hours, the glucose levels will go down, and the glucose level goes up. When the glucose level goes up, the insulin level also goes up. And, after, when you stop eating, both of them start to go down and to get at a balanced level. So that's why, according to research, that's why it helps people with, diabetes. But once again, if you want to do this, if you want to fast, please go and see your doctor.
And I think that's only for people with type 2 diabetes.
Type 2, yes.
Type 1 diabetes.
No. And even if you have type 2 diabetes, once again, your health is important. So yes, don't just rush into it. Go see a health professional to have your blood checked, and for them to actually help you and, direct you how you can do it in a safer way. Okay. So Ben, I just mentioned about the fact that you can do a long fast. You can fast for one day, or you can fast just for a few hours, or you can decide to fast for a long period of time. Because according to studies, when you fast, for instance, for 72 hours, you go into a process that's called autophagy.
Yes.
And that process, basically, it's your cells that are starting to clean themselves. All the dead cells, for instance, that are accumulated within the body and not, they're just there, useless, but they are still there. Often they end up, creating some health issues and all of that. So through the process of autophagy, the cells actually start cleaning up.
Regenerate.
Yes, they are regenerating. All the dead cells get used as energy, and then the cells get healthier, and new cells are created, and therefore we become, healthier, and we get more vitality and etc. So do your research, go check autophagy. And if, for instance, you still don't know whether fasting is for you, that's something that can help you make up your mind, because it's quite wonderful. And when you are living it, like when you get into the autophagy state, you can feel it. You can feel your body, get regenerating. I'm talking a lot here. Ben, it's your turn. Can you tell us the longest fast that you've ever done?
I think it was 5 days.
Oh, wow.
With no food, just water.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, this is the first 3 days, as you mentioned, in 72 hours, that I actually do find difficult. But after that, it just become normal. So I don't feel the hunger no more. My energy level is balanced. I can actually function properly. And that was a good experience. I haven't done it for a while, going for that long period of time. I just stick to 1 meal a day.
Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, I think the longest fast that I've done so far was for 3 days, 72 hours, because I just wanted to experience, autophagy. For me, just to tell you, for me, 24 hours, 1 meal a day, for instance, is something that I was doing quite a lot, in the past. So the 24-hour fast was nothing for me. My body got used to it. But it was the next day. The second day I started feeling quite weak. I felt really weak. I felt, I had headaches. I was not feeling well at all, especially in the morning.
Did you feel dizzy?
I felt dizzy. I felt, really not myself. And I was very, tempted to actually go and eat. But I was like, no, I'm going to go through this. I want to see how my body responds to autophagy. And after that day, it was the hardest part was in the morning, the second day. It was very difficult. And then throughout the day, it was very weird, because instead of getting even more tired, or actually started to feel better during the evening, during the, I think about noon, 2 o'clock, I started feeling better. I started to feel some energy. I have no idea where the energy was coming from, but I started to feel energetic, and it became like a trend, an upward trend, actually. I started to feel better and better and better. And then the third day was amazing. I woke up in the morning, no headaches, no dizziness, no tiredness. I felt great. And I swear I could have even continued for another day if I wanted. But because my goal was just to get at that, 72 hours, I think I did 75 just to see, just to stay a bit longer in that autophagy. But I didn't go for longer than that. I didn't go for another day. But I definitely plan to try and go for a week?
Some of the people in the Nation of Islam, again, I'm bringing them because of the book, How to Eat to Live. Some of the people actually are used to do that.
Okay.
And some of them try to actually fast for 7 days, at least once a month.
Wow.
Just to regenerate the cells.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's because of the fasting. The fasting has been proved to actually help you to stay younger, stay healthy. But when I look at the people of the Nation of Islam, some of them are in the 70s or 80s and they don't look their age. They're still healthy.
Wow.
Full of life. And that could be part of it. And the diet as well. We're not professionals again. And some of the people teenagers shouldn't try it. Women who are breastfeeding, people with diabetes, type 1, even type 2, just go see a professional.
Yeah.
And people with any kind of eating disorder.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I will say anyone who'd like to do it for the first time, especially, make sure to go and see your doctor. Just, mention it to them and they know you. But you know yourself better as well.
Exactly.
And also you have to listen to your body. If for instance, you start fasting and you are not feeling well at all, let's not be silly. You need to understand that, okay, your body, you need maybe to reduce the amount of time that you're fasting, etc. So that's why I'm saying we are not health professionals. We are just sharing our experience. And also it took us quite a little while before we get to the stage that we are, which is 1 meal a day. But that's something that we did gradually. It didn't just happen like that. So yeah, I mean, just to finish this episode, our health is important, and no one will come to tell you, okay, you need to take care of yourself. That's a decision that we have to make ourselves. So make the right decision. I hope that this episode will really help you in that sense. And fasting is not just to lose weight, like we said. You can get so many health benefits. Fasting, once again, you'll feel more, you will have more vitality, more energy. You'll feel, energized, and healthier. So, make the right decision. Once again, like Ben said, the 3 meals a day is just like a scam. The food industry wants us to consume, because if we don't consume, they won't make money. So let's make the right decisions here. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Thank you, Ben, for being with us today. Okay, guys. So we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.